Mr. Chairman. Ranking Member Risch, thank you. And ambassadors, thank you for your service. Greatly appreciated. I'd like to first talk about the Western Hemisphere. I'm from Tennessee. Since the border collapsed in late January, we've experienced a dramatic increase in drug trafficking, in overdoses, in human trafficking. We've now got unaccompanied minors coming into Tennessee. Our schools and hospitals are asking whether we have the capacity to deal with this. This has become the most urgent crisis in America from a national security standpoint, from an economic security standpoint, from a humanitarian standpoint. So earlier this month, I traveled to Guatemala and to Mexico to meet with leaders there to try to get at the bottom of what the problem is, what's driving this. I didn't hear much talk about climate change. What I heard was that we're sending messages from here, whether it's election talk about how people will be treated if a certain outcome occurs, whether it's talk about the potential for a $15 minimum wage, whether it's talk about checks for illegal immigrants, or the fact that we've extended unemployment, plussed up unemployment benefits all the way to September, which is creating a giant job opening here in America. Coyotes are taking these messages and marketing them to very vulnerable people. They're encouraging these vulnerable people to put their life savings on the line and to risk their lives to make a very dangerous journey, a journey in which more than half of them are involved in some way in crime, whether they become part of the drug trafficking, part of the sex trafficking, or in some other way violated horribly. This is a very dangerous humanitarian crisis that's occurring in our border. The leaders of these countries are not happy about this at all. They blame us in large part, but they also see opportunity. That's what I was trying to get at, and I want to share these with you, Ambassador Nichols, these observations, that when I met with the president of Guatemala, he said, look, I'm not asking for you to send money or fund NGOs, but help us technically. Night vision goggles, technical training so we can manage our own border. Our own national sovereignty is being violated, he told me. We want to cooperate. We think we can cooperate. And if we can get our border under control and bring the rule of law more in line, we'll see more infrastructure investment, which is what they desperately need. We have tools here. This committee has jurisdiction over some of the tools that we can help them with infrastructure investment. But we need to get the rule of law and public safety in order there. I think there are great opportunities to cooperate with them, and I would look forward to working with you toward those ends. They also want to see us stop the national security problem that they've got too, because they don't know who's entering their country. It's a real issue. It sounded even more so when I talked with the Mexican foreign minister and the minister of economy in Mexico. They have a grave concern about who's coming across their southern border. And again, they highlighted the opportunity for us to cooperate on a security basis, again, with training, with technology, with equipment. These are ways to help them address the problem. But the most clear and urgent problem is dealing with our own border, to stop sending the wrong messages that are encouraging this sort of behavior. And what's happening, particularly in Mexico, is that with the movement of coyotes, the overwhelming force that's occurring at our southern border, that it's creating an opening for the cartels to move even more drugs, more sex trafficking, more contraband across our borders. The cartels are getting larger and more powerful by the day, and it's making it that much more difficult to manage the situation in Mexico, in Guatemala, and other countries in that region. So I would look forward to working with you on this grave national security crisis, and I hope that you'll commit to do that with me.
Thank you, Senator. I look forward to working with you and the other members of this body, if confirmed, on these issues. I know that colleagues within the Bureau of International Narcotics and Law Enforcement and Population, Refugees, and Migration, under the leadership of Vice President Harris and with the participation of Special Envoy Zuniga, are working hard on the issues that you've discussed.
We need to do more, but thank you for that commitment. And Ambassador Sasan, again, thank you for your service. Still related to this area, what was very clear to me is that China is increasing the movement of fentanyl and fentanyl precursors into Mexico. These are getting manufactured and then trafficked across our border. It appears that all of the cooperation between Mexico and the United States to interdict this has collapsed. I'd be very interested in your thoughts on how, in the position that you're hopefully going to go to, how you can increase our cooperation with Mexico to push back against China and their importation of this illegal drug that's killing our children.
Good morning, Senator, and I share your concerns about these illegal drugs coming into our country as both a mother and a grandmother. There is definitely an important role within the UN and multilateral space to push this U.S. priority forward, and if confirmed, I look forward to consulting with you, working with you, and with stakeholders in organizations such as the Universal Postal Union, because there is a postal piece of this, and the work that we've done on some of the standards has actually made a difference in the multilateral sphere in enforcing and moving these norms into the international space, as well as in the UN body that deals with drugs and crime.
I'd look forward to working with you, and I'll just add this. The Mexican authorities made clear to me that they don't have the technology to examine the cargo that's coming in from China. They felt like we could help them significantly there. You think about X-ray technology, heat sensing technology, the types of things that they could use to deal with the fact that China's become very clever at hiding fentanyl and the precursors that are being shipped into their country and then being remanufactured. So I appreciate that commitment. Look forward to working with you, and thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you.